Hi guys, and welcome back to Honey We're Home. I'm Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
We are so excited for today's episode. We are going to answer some of your burning questions, and we're also going to get into being a maid of honor for a high maintenance bride. This should be a good one.
It'll be a good one.
Literally, we can't be professional for 5 seconds.
No, we're so unserious. I was thinking about that the other day.
That's my favorite turn on TikTok when people are like, they're so unserious.
Somebody on the brand trip from weeks ago called me that, and I was like, that's the
Huge
biggest compliment you could ever give me.
Because I told you guys this once how like I got called like the not fun friend, and now I'm like so addicted to like being fun.
Wait, what? When did you get called that?
By my husband. Before we were ever engaged, and I'll never let him forget it.
He called you the not fun friend?
Yeah, he said, it's okay. You're just like not, like, you're not the fun friend. Like, that's okay. Could you imagine?
Cry. I would bawl.
No, this was like literally 7-8 years ago. So obviously it really stuck with me.
Thing to do. And he was probably like trying to make it a compliment somehow.
Oh, he was.
But men are stupid.
He was. And to this day, sometimes he literally will be like, it's okay, Caroline. Like, I know you're fun. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're fun. Like, you don't have to keep proving it to me.
It's giving summer house. Summer should be fun. Amanda, not fun. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. No, I was thinking about this. I kind of wanted to talk to you about changing the name of this podcast to...
I will literally kill you. I will literally kill you.
To So Unserious. How cute would that be? Now somebody out there is about to make their podcast that name.
Well, when we announced this podcast, like 3 months before we actually launched it, someone went and made a podcast and then called it Honey We're Home. And when I saw it, I was like, we have to launch in like the next 2 weeks.
Well, because whenever anybody asks me about the pod, they're like, what's it about? What's it called? I'm like, Honey We're Home. But I don't know if it goes with what we talk about, because it makes us sound like homemakers.
Wait, I did see this review where they were like, this was so funny to me. She was like, I thought it was going to be, or I'm assuming it's a girl, I thought it was going to be like talking about like how they don't have like traditional roles in marriage, but like I think they're just like cosplaying as like as that because they just like want to be homemakers. I was like, what episode did you listen to?
In what world have I given off the brand that we want to be homemakers?
I met one of your chef friends last night, and I was like, oh, like, I'll have to send your profile to my husband. And he's like looking at me, and I'm like, no, like, I don't cook.
Silly.
Like, I don't.
In what?
I take stuff out of the freezer each day.
I've seen things like that too. When I quit Betches, people were like, I think she just wants to be a stay-at-home mom. And it's like, okay.
Honestly, like, pop off also. Like, if you guys ever catch me being, like, a stay-at-home mom living my best soft life,
then
give me a pat on the back. Because, you know...
literally.
Same page. Like, that would be the life. Like,
yes.
Because I can guarantee you that even as a stay-at-home mom, I still won't be cooking.
Yeah.
Like, I would be living the literal life.
I'm hungry.
I'd be living the life. Like, bro, like, I would not be your domesticated stay-at-home mom.
No. The house would be exquisite.
Oh, my God.
The decorating. So,
I would pay someone... Oh.
Painting?
Oh, yeah.
So, did we talk about this?
No.
Okay. I'm like in another
You're
universe.
Short-circuiting?
Yeah, well, because we
oh my God, I just had so many thoughts flood my mind. I met a boy last night I want Sarah to marry. Oh. She said she's out because he's too short.
Well,
I literally sent her his profile and she goes,
fair.
Bruh, is he like 5'5"?
Although I love a short king.
I said, you're short too. I said, you're already so short. Yeah. I said, your Kendall Jenner dreams never came true. What are you complaining about?
A short king with a really confident personality.
He's half Parisian, half Italian, and he's a chef. Like, the guy that's like a Renaissance man, like,
do me.
Luck would have it, like, he's probably not into girls at all. Like, but he is French and Italian, like, fully. Like, I'm like, Sarah, you go to school in Paris? Like, hello?
Yeah.
Make it make less sense.
Speaking of Paris,
Yeah.
This is really not much
Oh,
to do
wait.
with it,
I'm
but
sorry. Go back to the painting thing.
Painting is... So I've been obsessing
Were you going to say,
over...
speaking of Paris, painting?
Yeah. I've been obsessing over wall art because I took everything off the walls in our apartment and decided we need to hang up new art.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's time for me to start looking at like paintings in these vintage frames, oil paintings. I was on that app, Everything But the House, looking for these things, but it's like estate sale things. And it's just so expensive. You know, I'm not trying to drop thousands of dollars on a painting. And then maybe this is my
You have to get into
complex.
But you will eventually, probably, knowing you. Like, you just have to get into it.
Yeah. Well, but
you have to find artists you like, and then you're like investing in.
Yeah. But I told you, I was like, when I was little, I was naturally gifted and talented.
Oh my God, I cannot stop thinking about this comment.
At art, I had a natural knack.
How old were you?
Not drawing, but painting all throughout high school.
Okay.
Come at me.
Why were you saying little?
Well,
why are you saying as if you were like 6 and finger painting?
And it makes sense because my grandma on my dad's side was a literal artist, so I think I got it from her. And I'm not like the best
We
drawer.
never talk about this.
I know.
That we both do art.
I know. Well, you do it actively more. I just say I was good at it when I was young. So that's probably why.
But don't say when you were little, like you were in high school.
Yeah. I was
imagining when you said this to me the other day on the phone. And you're like, I think that I could just do it. Like when I was little, I could paint. I imagined you finger painting. You
just did a very annoying high-pitched tone. And I don't appreciate it.
Should I retry? I'm not going to.
No.
It's probably not.
Well, I called Caroline and I was like, okay, that's it. In my spare time, I think we should do, well, obviously I'm not going to do it alone. So I said we should do a painting course just to refresh, get to know the supplies a little more.
You refusing to do art alone.
Yeah, which is the number one thing you're supposed to just do on your own. Can't even do that. So I was like, I'm going to sign us up for some sort of course in the city and we're going to learn paint. And then I will paint all the artwork in our home. Mike was all for this plan because he was like, less money we got to spend. He was like, yes, I think it's cool and unique when women paint art. I was like, shut the fuck up. You just don't want to spend money. And so we're going to do that. And then we can give art as gifts to I think it's so cute if a mom can paint her daughter a painting for her
my mom does stuff for me like that. I have a friend that gave me a painting that she did of the chapel where we got married, and it's hanging in our room, and it's the prettiest thing ever. That was my favorite wedding gift.
That's really gorgeous, by the way, a really good wedding gift. You just made me realize it's in storage because I'm a loser at my in-laws, a painting that my mom brought home for me. She was like, you can have it. It wasn't this sentimental of a thing, but she went to a paint and sip thing forever ago with her friends. Shut up.
You have to go get it.
And I have the painting, and no offense to my mom.
If Mike can go to Jersey one morning just to get his Christmas decorations, he can go get it.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is. No offense to my mom looking down as my guardian angel, but it's not the best painting in the world. That's why it's not in my...
That's why she gave it to you.
It's very sentimental.
That's really sweet.
That she's no
longer. You should go get that. Yeah. That's the type of stay-at-home mom we would be for anybody that was confused.
Yeah.
We are gonna be, I'm manifesting it, the type that are we'll do our workout class and take our kids to school, but then it's I'm spending my day in art classes. I'm gonna do cool stuff. I would go back to school. If I didn't have to work, if I didn't have to make money, if that wasn't a concern, what would you do? I would go back to school.
Well, so here's how I envision my ideal future. Mike, start popping off, okay? Support the two of us. But that's why I'm always can you just get really rich? Because I would still work like a dog. I have it in me.
Yeah.
It's my grandfather on my dad's side, workaholic, worked till he was the day he died. Didn't need to. I would still work like a dog because I can't not. But it wouldn't be as pressure and stressful where I wouldn't have to be must make sure I'm lining up deals, it would be more fun work.
The feeling, I would love to know the feeling one day in my life of working not
for money.
For money.
Yes.
I just want to know what kind of cool stuff you could get done in life. Like if your only thing was like working to bring yourself joy, like what kind of projects you would work on, you wouldn't feel rushed to finish them. What if you had all the resources to kind of like do it slow, do it the way that you wanted to, whatever it was. I would go back to school for art, which is what I wanted to anyways. Like these things cost money, obviously. So it's more than just like not having to make money. It's like, what if you had such a surplus that like that just like wasn't a question?
And they say if you do what you love, the money will come, but that's not always practical.
Oh, can I tell you? No, I heard this one guy in the West Village recently, and I actually wanted to punch him in the face. Like I wanted to stop and just punch him in the face. He was talking to two girls, and listen, like I don't know if they were. It gave LA vibes, like that they were like in a meeting, like investor meeting, and he said something like, the worst thing that you can do is do something for money. Like the worst way to start if you start a business because you need money, it will fail every single time.
Shut the fuck up.
He said, I heard this like 2 months ago, I swear to God, and I still think about it. I was like, I've never heard something more disgusting in my life. Maybe there's a point under there somewhere about how like if you're doing it to get paid, like maybe you're overlooking certain aspects of like whatever it is that you're starting. Like I don't know,
but also tell me you have a trust fund without
literally
me, bro.
I was like, probably from a guy who's never needed money a day in his life.
Yes, yeah.
Like that is just the most freaking
It's so easy to say when
you gross.
Haven't needed.
But these girls are like eating it up. Like this wasn't a date. Like this was some type of like investor meeting, like business meeting or whatever. I'm like, I would never want to work with that guy.
I think especially to like tell women that, like, first of all, it's very cool to care about money and care about investing and making money as a woman, especially. Like, don't let that man.
Did you guys see the clip from that podcast that the old CEO of Starbucks did? Who started it? Who's the founder of Starbucks?
Dig deeper.
Okay, he said like basically when he quit his job. They moved, I'm assuming, to Seattle. He was working as a barista, like at a Starbucks location, like because they were getting off the ground, and he wasn't bringing in any money. Like he wasn't paying himself, but his wife was pregnant and working, and his father-in-law like pulled him aside and was like, what you're doing is like great, but it's not a job. Yeah. Like my daughter's pregnant. She's working full time. You need to bring in money. Like you need to support her. Yeah. Like, and then he went to his wife and she was like, no, like keep doing what you're doing. Like we've made it this far. And a lot of people were like, yeah, find yourself a good wife. And I'm like, you guys missed the point. The point is he needed money. Like
so he invented Starbucks.
He needed money. Like he never like didn't pay himself because he didn't need the money. He like couldn't, and it was a problem, and he kept going because of his wife. But I think the point she was trying to make is we've made so many sacrifices for this to work out. We're not turning back. Like take it home.
Like make it work out.
Literally like bring it to the finish line.
Yeah.
I'm not turning around now because we're in too deep. Like you need to make this work. Like bro, like he didn't not need money. Like
yeah.
It's just whatever. People are dumb. And one day I hope to be fully funded and going back to school for art and not needing to work for money.
That would be amazing. And then like watch, you'll get really good and then like make billions because you weren't stressed.
Yeah. And then we can go find that guy.
So we have this maid of honor email that we talked about in the last episode, and then we have some fun rapid fire questions.
Yeah, do you want to read this email or do you want me to?
I will.
Okay.
You guys
best of luck.
I get a little scared before reading an email. I had a panic attack once while reading one on Betches Brides. Okay. Hi, Caroline and Nicole. My friend is a bit of a high maintenance friend in general, and everything with her always ends up being more expensive than it should be. Like if we make dinner or do a wine night, the Venmo request is always so expensive that we could have just gone out. Now she's getting married and I'm her maid of honor, and it seems the same way. Her wedding is a destination wedding that everyone has to fly to at a very expensive venue. She's also having a destination bachelorette. All of the bridesmaids have to pay for their own hair and makeup at the wedding. This is my first friend getting married, so I don't know what the norms are, but everything Everything for this wedding seems like a lot. For the bachelorette, she wants me as maid of honor to help her pay for gift bags she's getting for all the bridesmaids. These are not small gift bags. They're super expensive with really nice products inside, such as Rhode lip gloss, nice tote bags, custom-made sweatshirts, nice makeup bags, towels, etc. I was planning and already told her I would make and buy hangover kits for everyone and decorations. Am I also supposed to be paying for these gift bags she wants to give everyone? This is my first bachelorette and first of all my friends' friends to get married, and I don't have an older sister or girl cousins, so I don't know what the norm is. But before these gift bags, I'm already likely spending $5,000 for all her wedding things, and that isn't even including food and drinks, Ubers, etc. I'm a generous person and want to be a good maid of honor, but I already feel like this wedding is a lot and I don't want to pay for another few hundred of these gift bags. If the maid of honor paying for these gifts is not the norm, then what do I say to her? I know you all did an episode on bridesmaids and I found it super helpful, but would love any additional advice / insight on being a maid of honor. Sorry, that was a lot, but I love the podcast and I hope to get some advice. Thank you.
That's crazy. 5K is crazy. Do you have a number in mind that you think that you should not spend more than for a wedding or like as a bride?
As a bride?
For your friends. Like as a bride, what should brides have as a number that their friends probably shouldn't spend more on than for you?
I don't really get that question, but I think the bride should pay for the hair and makeup for the bridesmaids. So that's a lot of money. Like that alone, I always say could just be the gift.
I say this to my friends all the time. I'm like, that is a gift. That's great. It's lovely. Don't make them, we've said this before on the podcast, you either pay for it for them and require them to get it done, or it's an option and they're not required to do it if they have to pay for it themselves.
Yes. Or, correct. And then, so like in an ideal world, the bride would pay for the hair and makeup and just get like whatever pair of pajamas she wants them in for photos to get ready. So that's the gift. Like the pajamas, they could be $5 from Amazon, or they could be Daily Sleeper for $200, whatever you want. So you do that as a gift, and then the hair and makeup is a huge gift, and your bridesmaids will all appreciate it. Now, if you're not paying for their hair and makeup, I do think you should give them a nice gift. I think this is for the bachelorette, though, not for the wedding day, she said.
Okay, but just calling out the obvious, it's not normal to...
No.
Just so she knows, like, it's not normal to pay for the gift bags.
That's what I said. The maid of honor should not be spending $1. She can spend in terms of her labor and help assemble them.
You always spend more as a maid of honor. That's just how the cookie crumbles, but it's the gift bags are not your responsibility.
No, this friend
she should be splitting the decorations with everybody on the trip.
Yeah.
If she wants to do the hangover kits, that's nice. Like, definitely contribute something. Like, you don't have to be like nitpicky. This girl said she's generous, so like I think she's like maybe taking the girl's generosity too far. Yeah, but you paying for the gift bags is so abnormal.
That should be a gift from the bride. She's the one saying, I want the Rhode lip gloss, I want these towels. So good. That's your gift to the friends.
That's your gift. It's not
supply.
That's the easiest thing to take out of the costing.
Yeah. That's the first thing I read. I was like, oh, this nice girl is getting taken advantage of by this bride.
I don't like, I kind of feel like it's just very interesting having like a high maintenance bride, because from everything I've heard, like everyone's definition of that is like very different. Like people are just very interesting brides. Like your friend is not going to be the same friend that you're used to like when she's a bride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's a very different version of themselves when they're getting married.
But also she mentioned in this email, when you're having a expensive destination wedding at an expensive venue that your guests have to fly to, you're not doing a big bachelorette.
If you're doing a destination wedding that your guests have to fly to, then the norm would be to do the bachelorette party that week there. So like maybe everybody comes in on Wednesday. Like I don't know where this is, but like say it's literally like in Mexico or something, or the Bahamas or Greece or whatever it is. Like you do an event like on Wednesday night with all of your girls, and you know both partners like do that, and then that's the bachelorette party.
Yeah. Or ask them to like fly in early, a couple days early.
Or that's the Thursday night.
Or
like they fly once. They take off that much time once.
Right. Or if you really are like, no, but I still want to have my Miami bachelorette, that's fine. You do you. Let's say you're getting married in Mexico. You want your Miami expensive bachelorette.
If you can pay for it.
Then you, fund your own way and tell your bridesmaids, like, no pressure at all. I just want a mini bachelorette. If any of you can come, great. If 2 of you can, great. If not, nobody, then we won't do it. But, like,
that's a good point.
No pressure at all.
And I do think, like, unfortunately, this episode is weirdly all about money. Honestly, like, if you are fortunate enough to be able to, like, pay for your friends to be able to go on this like bachelorette for you, then 100%, like, listen, like, you want it, you went and got it, you're in a position where you're fortunate enough to like pay for it.
Pay for the bachelorette.
Like, the bride should be paying for everybody on that bachelorette, honestly, if she's already doing a destination wedding.
No, I was thinking more like, okay, if I'm the bride and I'm doing my destination wedding in Mexico, and let's say I'm like, oh, but I really want that bachelorette experience too. I would say to my friends, but I can't afford to fly all my friends out to Miami and pay for them for my bachelorette because I'm not a trillionaire. I would say to my friends, guys, listen, I know my venue in Mexico is a pretty penny and that's the most important. I want you there at the wedding. However, I really still want that bachelorette experience. I've always wanted Miami. I was thinking about doing that. I'll pay for my own way, of course. I'll treat you guys to a dinner or whatever. I can't fund your guys' stay in Miami, but if you would be able to and want to, I would love for you to join me. If not, no pressure. I completely understand the money is a lot, and see who bites. And if nobody bites, you got to be okay with that.
You have to be. It's also very timing related. Like, if you have a very long engagement, it makes a little bit more sense to do that. If you have a shorter engagement, then having a destination bachelorette and a destination wedding, like, that's a lot of PTO. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of flights in a short period of time. Like, it's not very considerate of any of those factors.
Yeah.
But, like, you could do a destination bachelorette, like, in May, and then do your destination wedding in, like, November.
Yeah. I just think the bride can't be like, we're going to St. Bart's for my wedding, but we also want to go to
Cabo for the bachelorette.
You must be there. You're my bridesmaids. Go.
Yeah, I don't. That is high maintenance. But in terms of like communicating to your friend that she's pushing her expectations, I think it is very tricky because brides are like very tunnel visioned.
Yeah.
So you have to communicate it in a way that's sort of like, okay, this is what I planned. Some things are fixed costs. For this girl, the flights are done. Wherever they're staying is done. She has no control over what these certain costing things are. And it's already a lot. So like, she has to go through the list of like everything else and be like, hey, like, I love the idea. Like, if I could, I would like help you.
Yeah.
With the gift bags. But like, I don't think that I can.
Yeah. I mean, $5,000
is
she's
crazy.
Already spending on this girl's wedding? No.
And she needs to, I also, as a bridesmaid, would say that as someone who's like a generous person, like, it can be very hard to split costs or like ask people to like pay you back. This is a growing lesson for her to get comfortable with splitting costs. Like, don't foot the bill for the decorations. I know you want to. I know it can be uncomfortable.
I don't care what age. I don't care who's making what amounts of money.
Yeah.
It's fair for the maid of honor to be like, hey, guys, I don't go overboard and go rogue and spend trillions of dollars on decorations. But any, like, normal friend group would be like, yeah, hey, Caroline, I know you got all the decorations. Like, let us know how much we owe you.
Yeah, like, I would suggest that she, like, gets comfortable in like that awkwardness of like asking people to split stuff with her. Like, I get it. I'm uncomfortable too. Like, I literally don't pay for group things because I will never ask anyone to pay me back.
Oh,
like,
really? I got over that long ago.
Right. But like, I have a hard time with that.
Well, and for this, like, I think you can be a really good maid of honor if you don't have the money to spend $5,000 on gift bags, which nobody really does. I think you can still be a very good maid of honor by offering help. You get there early to help set up the balloons.
That means more than anything.
That means the most.
Being there,
showing up, and and helping with labor, and time is money. So
maybe that's why that's the advice maybe I would give to people like that are in a situation like that. Communicate your intention to be there. And like brides need that. Like they need help. Like that is really the most valuable thing. And maybe your friends like are not presenting themselves as like that type of bride. Like maybe they want like your money more than anything, but communicate your intention to be like, hey, what can I help with? I'm going to be there early. This is what time I'm getting there. I'm going to take this upon myself. I'm going to help with this. Even wedding weekend, I'm going to get there early. Like
way more than money.
I'm going to help you put the bags together.
Yeah.
I can't help you. Like, I wish I could help you pay for the bags. I can't, but you let me know what you end up going with. If you want to have it sent to my house, I will even bring them all. Like, I will put it all together.
That's
I will bring
like
it.
Very generous. Yeah.
Like, I will lay it out on people's beds. I'll do all of that. Like, you just have to order it.
That's a good friend. Yeah. I mean, that's like just more stuff she has to schlep to this.
Yeah, do more. Don't spend more.
Bachelorette.
That should be the motivation.
I wouldn't even feel comfortable asking a friend to do that. I would be like, I'm just bringing it.
Really?
Yeah. Like
I would bring it too, but I bring stuff for other people.
Yeah, I would.
All the time.
I would do it for someone else. I wouldn't feel comfortable being like, "Hey, I'm sending loads of product."
That's why I think it's helpful for the maid of honor to tell the bride to do it, because the bride's not going to ask you for it.
The more considerate you are as a bride, I think the more your friends will actually want to take the initiative to do things for you. Like, to use myself as an example, I remember schlepping so many decorations to my Tulum bachelorette. I had an extra suitcase all for decorations as the bride. I didn't ask any of my friends. They had already done so much help with the planning of the bachelorette. My sister was maid of honor. She couldn't come because she was super pregnant. So I brought the decorations. When I get there, they had already hired a company in Tulum and all chipped in to set up this beautiful balloon arch situation that said my name and everything. And it was so, and I was like, I part of me thinks if I had been like, guys, I'm sending you the decorations, I need you to bring these, blah, 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 then they wouldn't have had enough time to focus on the balloon arch. Like, what goes around comes around.
I agree. I just think it's hard to set boundaries with your friend getting married if like she's only
being a money dictator. Yeah, I mean,
that's just like, I don't know. I just want to really, really clarify it. It's not normal to pay for the gift bags as a maid of honor.
Yeah, no.
It's not normal to have to pay for all of the decorations. So like, get comfortable saying no, because you're not pushing against something that everybody else is doing. Like, you're actually the only person being asked to do this.
Well, and at the end of the day, if the maid of honor has extra cash money to spend, she's probably like, I want to spend it on you, the bride, and get you an extra special gift, not on your friends.
Such a good point.
Like, why should I be funding the gift that you're giving to your friends?
I also think like a great move is to put together like the little, like, I love, people used to do like lingerie showers. I love like when you do like pajama parties. So like everybody gets them like really cute pajamas, because there is something fun about like getting married and then you're like always wearing like cute pajamas. It does make you feel like,
love that,
like an adult. So I think that that's really cute, and I think that's a great thing to orchestrate as the maid of honor. I feel like you could say to your friend, we actually have some other stuff like planned for you, like for throughout the weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna cost.
So I'm not gonna like let me know how I can help in terms of like labor with the gift bags for everybody, but you know, we already have like some other stuff planned.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Okay. Let's do our rapid fire questions.
Okay. Also, I would just encourage you guys, if you have friends getting married and you're not like jiving with them, continue to like have moments with them, whether you're going out for drinks or having a phone call, that like aren't about the wedding. Like maintain maintain your friendship.
Yeah.
Not just the wedding planning process, like throughout the process, so that you're like still in love with them as your friend.
Yeah.
Like, remember, like if you have a friend that's like going crazy for a wedding, like it kind of sounds like this girl's friend is a little bit not the best version of herself right now. It's super normal. It happens to everybody. It'll probably happen to you. It doesn't last forever. It's just a phase. I know you might be annoyed, but like, remember why you love them and like hold on to the friendship portion, not just the wedding planning portion throughout that process, so that when you get to the end of it, you don't find yourself unexcited for their wedding.
I kind of feel bad for brides that are being a bridezilla because
like they don't know that they are. I don't think.
They're not really aware all the time when it's happening, and it's like society who makes them like that because everybody's comparing themselves to each other, and everybody's putting so much pressure on them as the bride to have the perfect wedding and the perfect bachelorette, and it's
gotten really bad. It wasn't like that when we were getting married.
Well, I was talking about
the gifts are crazy
with Allie last night. I was like, "Our wedding's chooky now."
No. How could that?
Like, I don't know if I'd have a wedding right now if I was getting married.
You wouldn't have a wedding.
I would do a destination.
Weddings literally, yeah, you would have a wedding. Like, weddings can't be chuggy. It's like, is getting married chuggy?
No.
Okay.
This is Deja Vu. We've talked about this. Okay, let's do our rapid fire questions. But you guys submitted questions on Instagram for just like things you want us to address. She says, how to deal with pre-proposal anxiety. I know it's coming, but I'm a control freak.
My quick answer to that is just, I had white outfits picked out for every Saturday for like 5 weeks.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then I just wore them. And then I was like, I'm being controlling, but nobody knows.
Want to know what my answer for that is?
What?
Why do you have to wear white on your engagement? I think
you don't, but it's so giving her something to control. She's a control freak. She has anxiety about it. Like, it just gives you something that makes you feel a little better. Like, it makes you feel a little bit more in control of the situation whenever it happens.
Yeah.
Or just pick out cute outfits. They don't have to be white.
Well, and also I think she's thinking, like, how is he going to do it? Like, maybe wanting to control the how he does it and thinking, like, he could do it wrong or right.
Right. So she needs to distract herself with something else she can control.
Yes. But also, I think at the end of the day, it's so easy to be like, oh, I really want him to propose in our favorite restaurant in Italy, and that's exactly where I want it to happen. But like, I hate to try to control it because it really should be like how your partner wants to propose to you and how they feel would be most special for you. And coming from somebody who you would think would have told Mike exactly how to propose. I didn't tell him one thing about how to, and then but he ended up doing it perfectly.
I know, but not everybody is in that situation. Like, if you have certain thing, like, you shouldn't have anxiety about that part. Like, you should feel very confident that, like, your partner knows how you
want.
Like, and about the important things, like who's gonna be there, like whatever, if it's private, if it's
but
with
what else
family,
would
like,
she have anxiety about? The outfit?
I think she's having probably anxiety about like thinking it could literally be any moment, and she doesn't know when it's gonna be. You're just like so out of control of the situation that you're just like subjected to like the gods of like whenever it happens. Yeah. But you could, if you're having anxiety about those things, like that is worth telling your partner, like you should have communicated that, and it's never too late to say like, hey, by the way, like it's really important to me that like my mom's there.
Totally.
Or that it's really important to me that like my sister is there like afterwards, or it's really important to me that it's not in a public place, but then like we get to see everybody afterwards. Like if there are things like that you feel like are stressing you out,
wrong,
communicate. Like, because a lot of people don't communicate it and then afterwards have like proposal resentment.
Yeah, which you don't want.
That lives with you through the wedding planning process.
I agree. I just wouldn't. I would communicate that in advance if possible, for sure, to avoid that resentment. I just would try to avoid not planning every single detail of like, because then you'll know exactly when it's coming.
No, you should not be planning your proposal, but you should be communicating things that are important to you, because if you don't get those things all because you were like, he should have known, that's just not worth
resentment.
That's not worth the resentment that comes with that. Like, it's like you just say it, but like then obviously sometimes you get people like Mike who just like you guys were so on the same page. Like he just got everything right.
Yeah, surprising, honestly.
I mean, probably really cute.
I probably did communicate the things I wanted at some point.
What about
back to the outfits real quick though? I really am a huge fan of not wearing white on your engagement because I don't know. I love an authentic one when you truly, genuinely don't know that it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I kind of no, never mind.
I didn't know that it was happening until right before it happened when John like turned around and I literally saw the ring box in his pocket. And then he left me there alone with no phone.
Bye.
He actually went to the car to get my phone.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I saw it, was when he was walking away.
Oh, so you were like, oh.
He sat me on a bench and was like, I'll be right back.
You were wearing white for yours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and that's fine.
I always wear white anyways.
Most people are. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I literally like my whole, and the way that people gravitate towards like black staples, I gravitate towards like white staples. I just feel like, I don't know why.
And that's fine. If you want to wear white for your engagement, by all means, start wearing white.
But you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Marriage meal plans. Are we eating together?
I mean, yeah. Ideally.
Yeah, we eat together.
But you don't have to. Oh, are we? Oh,
are you and Mike eating together?
Yes.
Yeah, we're eating together.
Yeah. He does most of the cooking.
Yeah.
I'll do the vegetables. He does the meats. And we prep and we eat most of our meals together. However, I will say there are some relationships. A good friend of mine, who I always reference here, like her husband eats like liver and bone marrow 24/7. And she's like, well, I'm not fucking eating that. Yeah. So teach
a lot of people don't eat together or eat the same thing. We do. It's because our husbands cook for us. So I will starve unless I'm being fed.
Well, and Mike and I have a very similar palate. I know what he likes with me and John. We have a similar palate, but then like our Chipotle bowls are completely opposite. It's weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ours aren't that different. Yeah, we eat together. But I think that it depends on like people's work schedules too. Like I have friends that are like,
totally,
they eat the same meal, but like they eat at different times. And so like, but she'll sit with him when he gets home and eat. And I think that that's like still important because you're like still, I think that's a huge part of your day. That's like a bonding portion of your day where you're like not watching TV, even if you like you're catching up on your day and you're just like, even if you stare and look at each other in silence.
You know what I did this past week, which was so bad.
What did you do?
Because it's so against, I think dinner is very important. Poor Mike. Well, actually, he didn't mind. He was like, that's fine. I'll like go on my phone. When we were eating dinner at home, I was like, I have to work right now. I was literally on my laptop working dinner.
Oh, that's the worst.
Pretty sure I was editing.
I feel like that's like a violation of like the code.
I know. And I was like, if I don't, I'm just going to be staying up a literal hour later. And I really don't want that. So it's not worth putting away this to not. But I never do that.
Yeah, I think that's like John's had to do that before, but like he'll wait until after we eat to work because I'm like, it's just, he did it once and I was so depressed. Like I just was like sitting there looking at him like, depressing. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm eating alone at a restaurant right now.
No, Mike Loki loved it. He like watched the show.
Oh my gosh. I think I just like sat there with like tears coming down my face on the end of the couch. Like, oh no. Okay. Does the freedom of freelancing / influencing outweigh the stress? Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's extremely stressful. But I like to say it's a different type of stress than I knew before this, like in corporate. And it's one that I would choose over that stress.
The main thing I've realized, which I tell people, I just never feel like I'm doing enough. This week, especially, I mean, but then people are like, Nicole, you recorded 3 podcast episodes this week. You did all this, you did all that. You attended these events. I never feel like I'm doing enough.
Yeah.
I focus on the numbers way more than I used to. If something's not performing, I start panicking. But other than that, yeah, I 1,000%.
The way that I think I can sum it up is like, if you ever watch a video or read something about somebody who owns their own business, it's just that feeling. Like, I don't think I realized that that's exactly what the feeling is, but like, it's that feeling. Like, it's more rewarding than any other job that you'll do. So it does outweigh the stress, but it's significantly, the highs are higher and the lows are lower. Like, it's significantly like more stressful. Like, you're always like, yes, like how, like, there is no cushion. Like, no one's coming to save you. So like, it's a little bit of both, but it does outweigh the stress.
Totally.
Okay, next
one. How to maintain long distance friendships as you get older.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That's hard.
Very hard. especially as kids come into the picture.
Yeah.
And I have a very simple answer for this one, actually.
Okay.
Pick up the phone, do
Yeah.
a phone call, do it while you're walking the dog, do it while you're doing laundry, do it while you're cooking dinner. Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Yeah.
That's from Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You're such a movie reference bank.
I know. Yeah, I mean, that is truly, for me, the best way, a phone call. My mom used to do the same thing, too, and that woman was known for having very strong friendships with her lady friends. And every night she would talk on the phone to them. Like, one of them.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. What about you?
I have the same answer. Like, it's just pick up the phone. I also think, like, for me, like, I have to, like, see my friends. I just have been, like, really fortunate that, like, I don't live near my friends, like, that I've made up until the point in my life where I moved to New York. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, though, like, I still see them, like, a decent amount. Like, and I don't know if it's because we live in New York, and so, like, there's always a reason that someone's, like, coming into town, or if, like, that my other friends never moved, like, too far away from, like, Charleston. So, like, whenever I go home, like it just happens to line up with a time that someone else might be visiting. Mm-hmm. But, like, it is very, very difficult so I just would say the same answer as you. Just pick up the phone.
But also, in terms of seeing them, don't underestimate the power of a group trip, planning, like, an annual beach house for a week in Myrtle Beach for the summer, and just lump everyone into that, as many as possible, because that way you don't have to do individual trips left and right.
We are good at planning group trips.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
fun.
saw this girl in the Hamptons, and she lives in Charleston, and she was on a trip with all of her high school friends. I cannot believe that I did not tell you guys this already. She was on a trip with all of her high school friends, and they do a surprise trip every year. And so one person plans it, and no one knows where it is.
Oh, this is fun.
And so, like, there's, like, a reveal of, like, where the trip is, like very soon. But I don't know how the flights thing works. Like, I don't know.
You
but
gotta
like,
be rich to
you
do
have to, like,
this.
pick it out of, like, a hat.
Yeah.
It's like 10 of them.
No, that's really fun,
And
though.
I have never seen a happier group of girls in my life.
Yeah.
Like, there was just so much thrill to, like, their trip. Like, it, like, goes on rotation. So, like, a different person plans it, like, each year, and, like, nobody knows where the trip is going to be.
I love that.
So then they're, like, hyped to get there because they're so excited.
The control freaks are probably like, what the fuck do we pack?
Yes.
But you tell them the climate.
There are, like, clues. Oh, like, maybe, like, do, like, a scavenger hunt or something as it leads up to the trip to, like, reveal where the trip is going to be.
I love that. Because then that one friend only, like, once every, 8 years has to do laborious planning.
Yes.
I love that.
That's so smart.
Everything's just planned. What if one of the friends is just, like, an awful planner and you're like, fuck, it's Nicole's year?
No, but if it's your high school friends, you can tell them.
Yeah.
Like, if it's your high school friends, you're like, skip her.
Yeah. We can just, like, jump over your
Like,
year.
we've just made a group decision that, like, when you get pulled, you're telling us that you got pulled and we're re-pulling. Or your name's not in the hat.
That's actually the cutest thing I've ever heard.
I've just never seen any, like, a group of people, like, happier, like, more excited in my life. And I just still think about that, where I'm like, that is so fun. A great idea to, like, keep seeing your long distance friends, and, like, something you get to look forward to. It's like a game.
Yeah. I love that.
I just love it. Okay. This one says pros and cons about places you lived. But the main thing I like about this is cities you'd be interested in living in.
Yeah. I mean, as an adult,
Yeah.
I've only really lived in, like, after college, I've only lived in Arlington, Virginia, right outside of DC, and Hoboken and Brooklyn. Never Manhattan. Wow. So pros and cons, I mean, I've enjoyed my experience up here more. I moved for career and got to thrive. Arlington, though, like, I love Arlington. You know, I went back there a couple weeks ago and I was like, maybe I'll move back. So, yeah, to answer the cities you'd lived in question, or cities you'd be interested in living in. We talked about this. I would do West Coast. Mike wouldn't. Unless like dream job.
Specifically where in West Coast?
LA.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do San Diego. I love it out there, but I would need to be more near the action. Like,
I think I would like San Diego.
Yeah.
People have told me that.
Oh, you never been?
Huh?
You never?
I've never been.
I just like, you knew what I said, but.
No, we've never been. So you would do LA.
Yeah,
I maybe do
LA.
Arlington again.
I mean, a goal in life would just be to have like a multi-million-dollar house in the Palisades right out there. But
I know. I can't think about it right now. Literally, I like West Coast too.
Yeah.
I would do Charleston again, but John like wouldn't.
I think I would live in Charleston even though I've never been.
I just maybe like Charleston will get more like diverse as time goes on and then it'll be better. My main concern still stands, even though people recently are like, Charleston's like way more diverse. And I'm like, right, but like, do you have to look at the schools?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to send my kid to school where he's or she's the only like interracial or even non-white child in the entire class.
Yeah.
Like, because I just feel like that's a decision that like they did not make that decision for themselves to be in that room.
Yeah.
I did that. And like, I don't know, like it just maybe eventually over time it'll get better.
Yeah. I really like where Brooke lives in Coconut Grove, right outside of Miami Beach.
Yeah. Would you live in Florida again?
That's a good question.
I know. I think about this a lot. John wants to kind of live in Florida and I don't think I can do it.
I love like it's more affordable, like the
Florida
taxes or whatever. But I don't, that was unhinged. I don't love
You literally saying to, okay, I'm going to give you.
I don't love the heat and the humidity.
Maybe.
So I don't know.
I would do LA. John likes West Coast.
House. My goal in life is to just have a house somewhere that's home base and have like a beach house somewhere.
I want a beach house really badly. I can't think about this until I get to a point where like I don't have to give up my apartment here because I just don't want to not be able to come back here.
Yeah.
I have a huge fear about that and I get really triggered in conversations about moving because I feel like I'm going to like leave and never get to come back here. And I just like something inside of me just feels like so upset about that I like.
I was talking to Allie about this last night. I was like, if you and I both move to the suburbs tomorrow, although I love Mike more than anything in the world, and at the end of the day could be on a stranded island with him and still be happy, I would feel a little bit lonely.
I would feel really lonely. Did I tell you guys this? Like once I had a conversation with John in college where he was like, why wouldn't it be enough if we just like lived in the middle of Oklahoma? Yeah. And I was like, that's unreal. Like love is not that like I remove all other factors. Like I don't live in a world where I have to remove all the other factors. Like if you were in the service and like we got stationed somewhere, I'm not saying I would never make it work. I'm just saying that like in a real life love conversation, like it's important to know that like you're not going to get 100% of your fulfillment from your partner. So like it does matter where you live.
I fully agree.
If you get to choose. Okay. A question related to that was how do we stay cool in the heat? And I just like sweat up my ass, so I don't stay cool.
Dress like a hoe.
Yeah. Go naked.
No, how do we stay cool in the heat? You limit the exposure to the outside sun, wear SPF, and I mean chug water.
Oh my God, wear so much sunscreen.
Hydrate.
Yeah, hydrate. Oh, actually, the Bloom packets, I have been drinking them every day and it's been helping because it is like 95 degrees out. It doesn't help me stay cool, but I was getting like heat headaches from dehydration.
I'm a big fan of a hydration powder.
That's
like
a huge thing. And I see a lot of girls walking around with their little fans. It makes me giggle.
I would do a fan.
Oh, I
bottle.
walked by a girl last week at a table outside at a restaurant and she was like having dinner with her friend and she had the fan in her face, like the handheld. I walked by again 3 hours later, same girl, same table, still sitting there, still holding the fan in front of her face. But I was like, that would really annoy me if I was her friend. Maybe like literally put the fan down.
Can we do favorite hair tools?
Okay, go ahead. Okay. Sleepy tie.
The Sleepy Tie. Caroline got me on the train of Sleepy Tie. I have been loving it. I used it last night, but then I used my Bio-Ionic 1.25 inch wand barrel.
I like a 1.25.
Long barrel. And I just ordered the same one from Amazon, but 1 inch because I decided I want some little curlier, tighter curls.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I use my 1 inch the most now.
Really?
That's just a hack if your hair falls.
Yeah.
Like my hair doesn't really hold a curl.
So tighter.
So the 1 inch gives me the look that maybe like a 1.5 inch like roller would give you.
I do have to plug my hair straightener, which I have been loving. GHD is the brand. It's like very pricey for a straightener.
Really good stuff about them.
But I think my thing with spending money on hair tools, I used to be like, no, I'm not spending a couple $100 on a straightener. When you think about it, you're doing your hair every day. Like, your hair is very important. Some of these tools that cost a little more money are better for your hair health. So like, why not?
Yeah.
And then this straightener really just like makes my hair feel softer, and my hair needs that because it's kind of crunchy sometimes. So that's that. I am getting a formaldehyde-free keratin treatment in a couple weeks before I go to Europe, which I'm very excited for because my hair is naturally very frizzy and high maintenance, and I'm trying to be more low maintenance when I'm traveling.
High maintenance to be low maintenance.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't really have hair tips. My hair just does whatever it wants to do. It's upsetting.
Do you use a crimper that we like?
Oh, I love a crimper because I like a waved look, like a flat wave look.
Yeah.
Okay. This question is how to get your husband open to the conversation of setting a timeline to have kids. And my answer to that is just keep bringing it up and then eventually be like, why is this triggering for you? There's a reason he doesn't want to have the conversation, and it's probably something that's like stressing him out, and he's just shutting down instead of telling you what it is.
Well, and you said this on a past episode, which I really liked, which was physically get out a pad of paper and a pen and map out the timeline, because sometimes the men don't understand that there's 9 months before giving birth, and like map it out with how old both of you are going to be. Which I didn't realize the men also have a biological clock in their heads a little bit, not as much as we do because they're not the ones bearing the child.
They have a reverse biological clock.
No, Mike like the other day was like, if we do like I'll be 34, and I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't even think you think about age.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to be an old dad, and I was like, whoa, okay. Or just get yourself a husband who wants more than you. No,
I mean, that's also a hack. Change husbands.
But I mean,
I think do the timeline yourself so that they can see, like, you starting about talking to get pregnant is not the same thing as when you're actually pregnant, which is also not the same day that there's a crib in the room and you're taking care of the baby. Like, the whole process is like a year and a half sometimes. So just like literally put it pen to paper so that they understand that I think they're applying too much gravity to the conversation.
Yeah. And it's annoying that you have to do all this work to show them, but unfortunately you might. I think I would just go at it from a very logical point of view, not being too emotional about it, and just being like, listen, like, scientifically, and also like tell him some people have a lot of trouble getting pregnant and it might take years to even do that. So I don't know, or it might
That's
take
a great way to say that. Like, explain that to them. Say, like, worst case scenario, if it takes us a few years to get pregnant, are you going to wish that we had those conversations sooner, knowing how many years from that conversation we actually became parents?
Yeah.
Like, this conversation is not equivalent to us becoming parents today. It's just a conversation that we need to have if we want to be parents one day.
Yeah.
I think this question is really funny. Caroline, do you speak French? And do you foresee a move to Paris? Or is that just a dream? I do not speak French. But the one thing that John and I want to do together is take French classes. When, like, that is on our list. When we're able to, like, do something weekly. Language classes are extremely expensive.
My dad speaks French. He can teach you.
Like, we're not a workout together couple. But that I think is something that we would love to do.
I really want to learn Spanish.
I know Spanish.
I know the basics. I took like however many years. I just can't like speak it.
Fun fact about me is I took Spanish from 5 to 21, and I am not fluent.
Yeah, I mean, say it. All of us
that
did.
is so. Did I talk about this on here once where I was like, it makes me so upset how privileged of a mindset that is that I didn't take it more seriously.
No, you haven't, but I fully agree.
Like, I that is a huge disappointment in myself that I will always have.
The two things I feel like that about is Spanish and piano lessons.
Yes. Oh my God. But my girl was a smoker. I had my mom fire her ass so fast.
No, my mom was like, you have to practice 5 days a week at this
my
time.
gosh.
And my brother and I were so good. I've talked about this before. It's like my thing. I was doing recitals. We were really good. And I was like, one day I was just like, I want to do sports instead. And my mom was like, you're going to regret this. I'm telling you.
Moms
are, you
are
sure?
so smart. We're
I know,
so
just listen to
idiot.
them.
We're so dumb.
I know.
Listen to your moms. But I do actually want to live in Paris for real. I still look at apartments all
I could see
the time. But it is just a dream. The internet hates my dreams, so we'll see.
Okay, I like this one. How to handle trying to conceive when friends are child-free / joke about not liking / wanting kids. I was talking about this with Allie last night. Once again, we had a long convo about how like the friends around you influence what you're doing, what you want to do with kids. Unfortunately, like it shouldn't be like that, but it does. And I was like this. My philosophy is I'm trying to picture Nicole on her deathbed when she's 90, hopefully 90 something years old, maybe living past that. Who knows? What will I look back and want to say? Will I want to look back and say, yeah, you know, I'm glad I never had kids because my friends weren't and they were joking about not wanting them? Or will I look back and say, I'm so glad I had my 2 beautiful daughters and my amazing son because that's what I deep down wanted? Was it hard? Was it whatever? Yes. But so like, think about future you and what future you will want.
Yeah. How do you want your day to look like each day? Because they don't get to make that decision for you.
Yeah. With me, Allie was like, are you gonna like miss your fun, thriving influencer life in the city, the events and the whatever? And I was like, okay, first of all, me having a kid is not dying.
Yeah, you get to decide what type of mom you want to be.
But I get that my life
how involved you want to be.
Totally. I get my life will drastically change.
Yeah.
However, Nicole on her deathbed is not going to be like, I wish I didn't have kids so I could have gone to that event in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Instead, I'll be like, no, I'm so glad I had my kids.
Right. I think that the answer here is make a decision for yourself. But if you are feeling like it's giving you a little bit of anxiety, sit down and be like, what do I want my life to look like with kids? Because it doesn't have to look like person A's life with kids, and it doesn't have to look like person B's life without kids, but it can look like something in the middle. Like, adjust your child to your life and your experiences that you value, that you don't want to lose. Keep those in your life. And then, you know, don't keep the stuff in your life that you're over. Like, your friends are going to do what's best for them when their time comes. So don't not do what's best for you now on their behalf.
Hell yes.
You like that one?
Yes, because the friends that will try to convince you to not have kids yet are the first
same
ones that will suddenly do it out of fucking nowhere.
And they're not going to blink twice. They're not going to care.
They're selfish. They don't want you to yet because
they're selfish.
Friend.
Like think about it.
Yeah.
They don't want you to do something because they're thinking about themselves, which means that when they want to do something, they're going to do it because yes, they're thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
That is how I would answer that. Okay. Well, that was fun. Yeah. Do you want to end on anything? I can answer one question. It said, are you guys have a timeline on when you're trying to conceive? John and I recently decided that we're going to talk about it in June of next year.
Talk about it?
Like, talk about it. Like June, on his birthday next year, like, we're going to say, where are we at? Like, do we want to start trying now? And then we're going to actually come up with, like, a legitimate, when are we going to try?
I'm surprised you shared all that.
I know. I don't know why. I
keep my stuff close to the chest. I'll fill you guys in.
I think because it's so far away for me.
Yeah.
It feels so far away to even say, like, do we want to try or do we want to wait another year? Like, we're basically going year by year now. We're totally off our plan. Not the one that I made, not the timeline I made. We're on that.
Oh,
that's going to manifest itself.
Good.
But I made that as a new rendition of the old timeline.
Can I see your timeline? I need a visual.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I might not be pregnant for like 5 years. I'm just saying when we're going to reevaluate it is literally next year.
Yeah.
So we have some time. Okay, we love you guys. Stay hot, honeys. And we will see you next week.
Stay hot.